Hi folks, welcome to Right Outside with Big Bow Outdoors TV. I'm your host Matt Propelka. We're going to do something a little bit different today, away from our normal archery fare. Today we're going to head out to Gobbler's Knob Hunting Preserve for a pheasant hunt. And primarily we're going to be hunting over my Brittany Spaniel Toby, and we're going to focus on some of the things that I do when we get Toby out into the field, especially on a cold winter day. So I think that should be really fun. For those of you who are dog owners, you might pick up a tip or two. After that, we're going to head into the Big Bow kitchen, and we're going to put together some Pheasant En Croute, otherwise known as pheasant in a puff pastry. This is one of my favorite lunchtime snacks, or can be served as an appetizer. If you got a lot of pheasant, you're going to love this recipe because it's quick, easy, and everybody seems to like it. So without any further ado, let's head on over to Gobbler's Knob and get the ball rolling with a pheasant hunt. Getting excited? You saw the birds on the quad, huh? Lie down. Come on, lie down.
Today we're hunting at Gobbler's Knob Hunting Preserve in Zelienople, Pennsylvania. One of my favorite places to go chasing after pheasants, especially when the snow's flying. Toby knows exactly where we are today. He's waiting patiently in the truck while the rest of the staff shows up at the Gobbler's Knob clubhouse. Time for a little bit of coffee, and then we might be able to get things rolling. Or we've got to get some paperwork done. Then it'll certainly be time to go. Toby's getting impatient in the truck. We better go. After getting everything situated in the clubhouse, it's just a short drive over to the field. The hunt's about to begin.
Stay.
While the boys at Gobbler's Knob get our field ready for us, I take a minute to put some Musher's Secret on Toby's paws. Musher's Secret is a paraffin wax. It acts to keep the ice from accumulating in between his pads, and that can be very painful if not taken care of properly. It has the additional benefit of offering a layer of protection against whatever it is that's under the 6 to 8 inches of snow we're going to be hunting in today. Next, we get Toby outfitted with his e-collar. A good rule of thumb in making sure the collar's on correctly is to be able to slip 2 fingers in between the collar and your gun dog's neck. That ensures that the collar's making good contact, but also ensures that it's not too tight.
Good. Too many ice balls. All right. Does not know the meaning of the word chill.
If your gun dog has a tendency to get overexcited, sometimes it's a good practice to let him or her burn off a little energy before heading out into the field. That avoids any surprise flushes. Well, that's enough exercise. Let's get out and do some hunting.
You might want to move though. He's going to run away from you and you're going to step on something else.
Our first presentation of the day was a hen who'd had quite enough of sitting in the cold snow and decided to make a break for it. Toby had already spotted this running hen. Fortunately, we let him burn off some energy, and he seemed to be under control and just waiting to see what happens. As the cameraman, I was very thankful for some good muzzle discipline on this flush.
Find a bird. She's smelling it.
The unpredictable wind was keeping Toby on his toes. He was still 30 yards away from this bird, and yet he knew there was something out there.
Be ready, Rich, if he flushes it up the hill. Is it there? Okay, give it a bump.
Unfortunately, as of right now, our game bag is still empty. Let's see what happens when we come back.
This is Chuck White for Bucks and Bows Archery. Whether you're a beginning archer or a seasoned veteran, we can meet all your archery needs. Bucks and Bows Archery is a Matthews, Bowtech, Elite Archery, and PSE dealer. Bucks and Bows is a full-service archery pro shop. Whether you're looking for that new bow customized to your exact specifications or simply need fine-tuning of existing equipment, we have the technicians and pro staff to get the job done. I'd like to personally invite you to stop by and check out our wide selection of bows. We hope to see you soon.
15 years, Blue Mountain Environmental Management Corporation has been dedicated to reducing environmental impact, preventing workplace injuries, and limiting our clients' liabilities. Our staff of environmental scientists, engineers, and technical specialists are committed to providing innovative safety solutions, comprehensive environmental consulting services, and source testing to keep your business compliant with ever-changing regulations. Blue Mountain Environmental, the leader in environmental services. ABC Glass and Mirror is your full-service commercial and residential glass specialist. Whether you need custom shower enclosures, same-day screen or thermopane repair, a new tabletop, or a commercial storefront, call the experts with over 30 years of experience. ABC Glass and Mirror is fully insured. They're located on Route 8 just off the Pennsylvania Turnpike. Stop by and visit our friendly staff today. Welcome back. We're at Gobbler's Knob Hunting Preserve in some pretty high snow, chasing pheasants over my gun dog Toby.
We're back with Dave Propelka, Rich Swager, and Toby hunting game birds at Gobbler's Knob Hunting Preserve.
Whoop. Good boy. Good boy, Tobe.
That was a real solid point from Toby, indicating that either A, this bird was real close, or B, it was on top of the snow and moving. I think you'll see the latter was the case.
Good shooting, boys. All right, go get him, Tobe. Hunt him up. Fetch him. Fetch a bird. Come on, boy. Come on, boy.
Yeah.
Run right at him.
With 3 birds in the bag, we decided it was time to get back to the truck and get Toby watered and taken care of. Even though it's cold outside, it's important to make sure that you have a lot of water on hand. Gun dogs do generate a lot of heat, even when they're working out in the snow. By scheduling a break in between sets, you give yourself time to check your gun dog's paws for any ice accumulation, and if needed, as in this case, add a little more paraffin wax just to add an extra layer of protection.
Sure that what happens is
After a short rest and plenty of fluids, it's time to get back out in the field.
That's a pretty solid point right there. It's got to be within a couple of yards of us.
As this is Toby's 11th season in the field, knowing when to fold him is key to injury prevention. Now it's time to get back to the truck, get Toby some water, maybe give him a little bit of extra time to relieve himself, and then get him packed up for the long ride home. As always, a big thanks goes out to the guys at Gobbler's Knob Hunting Preserve for another awesome morning in the field.
Well, that was a terrific hunt. We had an awesome time, and as you can see by the end of the hunt, Toby was pretty tired. He enjoyed a nice warm ride in the back of the truck on the way home. Now let's head over to the Big Bow Kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make Pheasant En Croute, also known as pheasant in a puff pastry. Welcome to the Big Bow Kitchen. Today we're going to be making Pheasant En Croute, also known as pheasant in a puff pastry. This is a fairly involved recipe, but very easy to do. It's just time consuming. So we're going to shoot this in segments and walk you through the entire process. Let's get things rolling. First thing we need to do, however, is get the pheasant breasts that we harvested with Toby just in the last segment. And we're going to put them in a nice brine made from 1 cup of salt and 1.5 cups of white sugar. In order to make sure that everything combines properly, it's imperative that you go ahead and get your water up to a nice temperature, almost to boiling. And then you can add in 1 cup of salt, and you can use any kind of salt, anything from canning and pickling salt down to ordinary table salt, and then 1.5 cups of white sugar. After you've got everything stirred in, you can go ahead and set that aside. The reason we set the brine aside is to ensure that we don't begin cooking the pheasant breasts while we're brining them. And so in order to ensure that that happens, we set the brine aside and let it get down to room temperature. In this case, we didn't have to let it get quite as cold because I had just pulled this pheasant out of the freezer and moved it directly into the pan we were going to be using to brine. After you've got everything laid out, go ahead and pour the brine onto your pheasant and put it in the fridge. We like to let that brine overnight. The longer you do it, the more tender the meat is. Just make sure that you don't over brine, otherwise you'll wind up with super salty pheasant. After you've given the pheasant a proper brine, you can pull it out and rinse it. You want to make sure that you give it a good rinse so that there's not a lot of the salty brine on the exterior, which makes the pheasant a little too salty for this particular recipe. This is a fairly delicate recipe. Then you go ahead and arrange it on your smoker racks. I like to leave it out on the racks for at least an hour or two so that the pheasant becomes sticky on the outside, and that way holds onto the smoke a little bit better. Your cook time for these pheasant breasts is going to be about 2 hours. At the end of the day, give it 2 hours of smoke. If you need to leave the pheasant in a little bit longer to get the internal temperature up to 155 degrees, you can do that, but turn the smoke off. Again, this is a fairly delicate recipe, and you don't want to over-smoke your pheasant.
This is Chuck White for Bucks and Bows Archery. Whether you're a beginning archer or a seasoned veteran, we can meet all your archery needs. Bucks and Bows Archery is a Matthews, Bowtech, Elite Archery, and PSE dealer. Bucks and Bows is a full-service archery pro shop. Whether you're looking for that new bow customized to your exact specifications or simply need fine-tuning of existing equipment, we have the technicians and pro staff to get the job done. I'd like to personally invite you to stop by and check out our wide selection of bows. We hope to see you soon.
15 years, Blue Mountain Environmental Management Corporation has been dedicated to reducing environmental impact, preventing workplace injuries, and limiting our clients' liabilities. Our staff of environmental scientists, engineers, and technical specialists are committed to providing innovative safety solutions, comprehensive environmental consulting services, and source testing to keep your business compliant with ever-changing regulations. Blue Mountain Environmental, the leader in environmental services. ABC Glass and Mirror is your full-service commercial and residential glass specialist. Whether you need custom shower enclosures, same-day screen or thermopane repair, a new tabletop, or a commercial storefront, call the experts with over 30 years of experience. ABC Glass and Mirror is fully insured. They're located on Route 8 just off the Pennsylvania Turnpike. Stop by and visit our friendly staff today.
Welcome back. We're in the Big Bow kitchen making Pheasant En Croute. Now comes the fun part. We're going to cut up the pheasant and cut up the cheese and get them into the puff pastry. I recommend using a tranche cut when cutting your pheasant so that you get the maximum amount of the exterior on most of the cuts that you get, and that imparts an additional smoky flavor. As far as cheese goes, I'm using a smoked Gouda in keeping with our smoke theme. And the reason you want to use one of the harder cheeses is you're going to have this in the oven for 15 minutes and you don't want your cheese to completely liquefy. You simply want it to melt and work its way into the meat, but not to liquefy and wind up on the bottom of the pan. So a good smoked Gouda or any of the other hard cheeses are a great way to start. You can experiment with your own cheeses and see what you like. Since I'm not a French chef, we went the easy route for the pastry. We went with Pillsbury Grand Crescent rolls, and they're real easy to use and easy to cook. If you have the chops and you want to get out and make your own pastry, more power to you. But in this case, since I've got folks coming over in a few hours, we went ahead and took the quick route. Putting things together is pretty simple. Just get yourself a muffin pan, lay the pastry into it, drop in about 2 parts pheasant to 1 part cheese. You don't want to overdo the cheese. It really melts and works its way throughout the entire pastry. So 2 parts pheasant to 1 part cheese is the way to do it. Then fold the top over, make sure you have things nice and sealed, and fill that muffin pan up. After you've got all your pastries made up, Pop them into the oven at 350 for about 15 minutes. You can check it by looking at the exterior of the pastry. Once it's golden brown, it's ready to roll. After removing the pastries from the oven and letting them cool, there are two great ways to serve them. You can serve them as a lunch or a light kind of snack with some field greens, and it makes a real nice addition to a quick salad. Or you can serve them as an appetizer, as I'm going to be doing this evening as we have folks coming over to the house. That's all there is to it. This is a quick and easy recipe and a great way to showcase the pheasant that you harvested last season. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode. It actually holds a pretty special place in my heart. Shortly after we filmed the hunting segment, Toby came down with spinal meningitis, and it was touch and go as to whether or not we were going to lose him for a few days. Fortunately, he pulled through. Unfortunately, we had to retire Toby due to the injuries that he sustained from that disease. So going forward, we're only going to see Toby in the Big Bow kitchen. He's going to spend most of his days lying around and sunning himself while he steals the occasional pheasant breast off the counter. And I guess I don't begrudge him that, because he really put most of the work into getting those pheasants. So until we see each other again, you keep stepping right outside your back door.